Hello, welcome to Yoga for Boomers and Beyond. I'm your host and instructor, Nancy Boyle. We'll be practicing, as always, with the aid of a chair to make poses accessible to individuals with physical limitations, such as seniors or boomers, or people recovering from illness or injury who might need to find a temporary alternative to traditional yoga practice on a mat. Today's practice will focus on movements to promote a healthy, flexible, strong, and mobile spine. As you can see from the image on the screen, an adult spine has a natural S-shaped curve. The neck or cervical spine and the low back, the lumbar spine, have a slight concave curve, and the thoracic and sacral regions have a gentle convex curve. The S-curve helps a healthy spine withstand all kinds of stress. The cervical spine curves slightly inward, the thoracic curves slightly outward. The lumbar, once again, curves slightly inward. So there's a nice little S shape. Even though the lower portion of your spine holds most of the body's weight, each segment relies upon the strength of the other to function properly. Today's practice, we'll be moving our spine in 7 directions, the 7 directions it's designed to move, while honoring those curves and engaging the muscles that support its health. We'll be practicing the movements both in a chair and from a standing posture. When practiced every day, these movements will increase the range of motion and make the activities of daily living more accessible and less restricted, while at the same time developing strength and mobility to protect the spine. So let's get started. We'll begin centering ourselves with a nice centering breath. So find a nice long spine. Let the sternum and the crown of the head float up towards the ceiling. Roll your shoulders up and back and let them fall gently away from your ears. Tuck the belly in ever so slightly, not so tight that you can't breathe, but just enough to keep you vertical, keep you nice and lifted. And then close your eyes. Begin to connect to the sensation of breath in your body. So you might notice how the breath feels as you breathe in and out through the nose. You might notice it first in the nostrils, perhaps noticing the quality of air. Might be moist or dry where you are. Perhaps it's warm or maybe it feels cool. Doesn't matter what it feels like, it's just about noticing how it feels. You might notice the belly move out away from the spine. You might notice the ribs expanding out in all directions. So as we become the witness of our breath, it helps us to center ourselves, become fully present in the moment that we're in right here on our chair, on our mat, doing our yoga. Keeping the distractions of daily life, what might be happening down the road later on or what's past. Let all those thoughts go for now and just give yourself permission to be here right now doing yoga and traveling through that process with your breath. So let's take 3 more nice, full, mindful breaths, eyes closed and awareness resting on the sensation of breath. Expansion on each inhale, filling up as fully as you can comfortably fill up. And then softening as you let the breath out. Not losing the nice extension of the spine though, so you want to be tall and allow space for the lungs to expand. 1 more nice full breath in with mindfulness. And then a nice full relaxing softening breath out. And then return to just the natural breath. Your body knows how to breathe, so just allow it to do its thing. It will follow you through the practice, and I'll remind you every once in a while to bring your awareness back to that breath, because without our breath, we're really not doing yoga anymore. We're simply moving around. So yoga is really all about the breath. Today's practice, as I mentioned earlier, is all about the 7 movements of the spine. Our spine has a wonderful ability to move in 7 different directions. And the more that we move our spine in those directions on a regular basis, the more it stays supple for us, the more range of motion we can hang on to as we age. So the first of these movements is extension. Axial extension. So axial extension would be the rooting down of the sitting bones and the lifting of the crown of the head and the sternum. So it's lengthening up. That's axial extension. So for a moment, just feel yourself lift up through the crown of your head. Let the shoulders stay soft and relaxed away from the ears. Root down through the sitting bones and into the feet. And just feel that nice long spine. You can observe it with your eyes closed or open, your choice. So I'll always and often be reminding you to extend the spine, to lengthen the spine. So that's where axial extension comes into play. And the next is flexion. Flexion is the folding forward. And we spend a lot of our lives these days in this flexion kind of manner. So our shoulders are rounding, we're leaning forward, we might be doing something on our cell phone, we might be doing something on our computer, we might be driving a car or knitting or reading, whatever it is we're doing that brings us collapsing into ourselves. That's flexion. And so what we want to do to counteract that movement or that constant position that we find ourselves in is to come into extension. Now, extension is the complete opposite. We're going to open up. So you might take the hands and bring them out to the sides and maybe let your hands come behind you, holding on to the sides of the chair. A little arch in the upper back as the shoulder blades move together and the front body opens up. Nice little stretch for the pectoral muscles here as well. Belly stays drawn in, and that axial extension is still happening. We're still lengthening as we're opening up the front body. Beautiful counter action for that collapsing inward that we do so much. So extension. And then roll the shoulders up and let the shoulders relax away from the ears. And we'll move into lateral movement. So lateral movement is a sidewards movement. So if we take our right hand down onto the chair, take our left arm up to the sky, and then take a nice lateral movement, a little side bend here over to the right. So we're contracting the muscles on the right side while we're lengthening the muscles on the left. And this is creating more space for us to breathe, more expansion in the lungs, more expansion in the ribs to make room for those lungs to fill up. So as we reach over to the right side, it's a nice lateral movement, so trying not to fold forward or come back. It's your shoulders are in line with each other as you just lean to the side. Root down through the feet and the legs and the sitting bones, and breathe into the beautiful lateral stretch here on the left side of the body. Neck stays relaxed. And then inhale back up, we go to the other side. So this lateral movement happens on both sides. Left hand onto the chair, right arm up overhead, reach it nice and tall, and then take that nice little lean to the other side. Stretching, reaching that right arm up and over. So the bicep is by your ear, if you can get it there. The top shoulders drawing ever so slightly back. Shoulders are in the same plane here. So again, we're not leaning forward, but really extending sideways, breathing into the right ribs. So just feel the expansion. Beautiful movement. And then coming back up. So we've axially extended ourselves, and we have flexed and extended forward and back, and we've come into lateral movement. So the last two movements are rotation. So we rotate when we do twists, and we want to be very careful in twists, especially as we age. There's always a possibility that osteoporosis or even osteopenia, which is the precursor, if you will, to osteoporosis, can be nearby, and it's often invisible. You don't know that you have it, and you want to be very careful and gentle with your twists, and you want to do them in the right way. So it's important to root down through the feet and the legs and the sitting bones, and let the twist happen from the ribs, low ribs, mid ribs, shoulders, and so it's the rib cage that's turning. Always important to let the neck be the last thing that goes. We often, when we're driving and turning around to see what's behind us, we tend to lead a twist with our neck. Not so good for our cervical spine. So it's important to get the ribs moving, the upper body and torso moving, and then let the neck follow. That will also give you more range of motion when you're trying to look behind you. If you start with the torso moving and then move the neck, you're already partly there as you've twisted the torso. So it helps in that looking behind you kind of action. So we're going to root down through the sitting bones and the feet, lift up, axial extension through the crown of the head, always making that space between the discs, allowing the space to exist so that the twist can happen more freely. So let the crown of the head lift, let the belly draw gently in, and take your left hand on your right thigh. Take your right hand behind your right hip. Find that length, that extension upward, and then come into the twist. So we're rotating the rib cage, and then maybe letting the neck and the chin follow. But if your neck is stiff and not ready for this action, just keep the chin centered in the middle of your chest or somewhere in between, wherever it feels good. So yoga is not a thing of perfection. You don't have to be perfect in your yoga poses. The most important thing is to have it feel right in your body. And that's really what we're aiming for. Nice breath in and coming back to center. And then we'll move to the other side. So lengthen up, take the right hand on the left thigh, and then we're going to twist over this way. So we're going to take the left hand behind the left hip, get that length again, and then take that twist, rib cage and shoulders moving. And then the neck, letting the gaze go back over the back shoulder, the left shoulder, or somewhere in between, wherever it feels good. Breathing here. Always respecting the limits of our body, not pushing past them. So our body opens when it's ready, coming back to center. And we really can't force it to open. It moves and it opens in its own time as long as we keep gently encouraging it to move a little further each time. And being patient in the process, not expecting great movement changes, but it happens over time. The key is to keep moving. So we're going to bring almost all of those actions into play, the lengthening, the flexion, and the extension, and the rotation into play through some sun salutations before we come to standing, where we'll do these movements in a standing posture. So to come into a seated sun salutation, bring your feet and your knees over your ankles, bring your knees in line with your hips, stack your shoulders over your hips. Roll the shoulders up toward your ears and let them gently move away from your ears. Let the arms come down by your sides. And we will do 3 rounds of seated sun salutations. And we will include a twist in this action here. So on the inhale, we're going to reach up. Crown of the head will lift, arms will lift, nice extension upward. And on the exhale, we'll come to cactus arms. So in cactus arms, goalpost arms, if you will, pressing the elbows back, opening up the front body, a wee bit of an extension here in the back body. And then we'll flex. So we come forward on an inhale, coming into flexion, hands to the thighs, gliding over the knees and down to the ankles. Keep extending the spine long here. And then let the head relax down. Take a nice breath in to lift and lengthen the torso. And on your exhale, fold back down. Take your left hand between your feet. You can put it on a block or a book if you can't reach the ground, that's fine. You can even bring the hand right to your thigh if reaching the floor is not accessible to you. Take your right arm out to the side and then take a twist to your right. So you're rooting down through the hips and the sitting bones, and you're just letting the torso, the rib cage, turn. The head can turn up or it can look down. Bring the hand back down. Switch hands, right hand in the middle, left arm out to the side. Extend long through the spine. And on an exhale, take that twist to the other side. Nice breath in and exhale back down. Inhale, lift and lengthen the spine. And exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms wide, engage the core, draw that navel in, come all the way up, and exhale the hands to the heart. So we'll do that again. Arms by your sides, inhale, the arms sweep up, and on the exhale, they come to cactus. Inhale, leaning forward, a little bit of flexion, and exhale, coming over the knees, down to the ankles, crown of the head points down, but the spine still extends. Nice breath in, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold back down. Left hand in the center, right arm out to the side, and come into that twist. Bring that hand back down. Switch sides, left arm out to the side, and take that twist. Exhale back down. Inhale to a long spine, lengthen forward, and exhale, fold. Inhale, the arms sweep wider down through the legs for stability. Come all the way up. And exhale your hands to your heart. Beautiful. Nice full breaths in and out. You can probably feel the energy moving. You might even feel a little bit more mobile in the upper body and the torso. Nice job. So we're going to find our way to standing, and we're going to do all of these movements of the spine while we're doing some standing postures. Just a different way to get the same result. So find your way to standing. Bring yourself all the way up. And then we will stand. Let's put the chair in front of us, or stand behind the chair. You don't have to move the chair, just move your body. And we'll stand behind the chair. So I'm going to face you so you can see my extension upward here. I'm going to root down through my feet. My feet are rooting into the ground, feet about hip-width distance apart. And then as if I have a little zipper in the front of me, I'm going to zip myself up, lengthen up through the crown of the head. Get really tall. Can you see me get taller? Roll my shoulders up and back and just let them just soften away from the ears. You might even do a little bobbing of the head, loosening up the neck. So as you close your eyes for a moment, root down through your feet and feel that extension upward. You know, there are people that say they get a little taller when they practice yoga on a regular basis because the muscles that we're working are really getting stronger. They're helping to keep those vertebrae from collapsing a little bit, giving a little more support. So that's what we're doing when we're doing this axial extension, working these core muscles, keeping ourselves nice and strong. On an inhale, we'll sweep up. So a little more of a lift. Lift up. Draw the belly in and up. Nice breath in. And on your exhale, we're going to come into a forward fold. So bring your hands together, bend your knees slightly, and fold forward. Now, if coming all the way down doesn't work for you, maybe you come to the chair. So you might just bring your hands onto the chair as you come forward. And only go so far, maybe to the seat of the chair. So you be the one that decides what works best for you. We're coming into that flexion. So this is a good kind of flexion. We're lengthening, working our core, folding forward. On your inhale, walk your hands up. Roll the shoulders up and back and interlace your fingers behind you. So you're going to interlace your fingers and press the knuckles down. We're coming into a little bit of an extension here as we lift the heart up, maybe a little back bend. You may want to come back a little bit. Keep the back of the neck long though. You don't want to do that. Ouch, that hurts. We want to keep the back of the neck nice and long. Keep the chin up, kind of reaching the top of the head up rather than all the way back, as we bring the arms behind us. So you might look very different than me. Maybe you are only here, and that's okay. If it's available for you to take a little back bend, that's okay. If you can't go too far, that's all right too. Remember, we open up in our own time. Inhale, sweep the arms up, and exhale the hands to the heart. So we're going to inhale the arms out to the side, and we're going to do our rotation here. So soften the shoulders down, lengthen the spine up, and on an exhale, as you root down through the legs and through the hips, we're just going to turn the torso. So try to keep the hips facing forward, and try to keep the arms and the shoulder blades in line with each other. What we tend to do sometimes is throw this arm way back and think that we're really twisting. We don't want to really exaggerate it. We want to keep our arms in the same plane and just take that twist. How far we go doesn't matter. It's just moving that matters. Come back to center and then go to the other side. You can look over the backhand or not. You can keep that head neutral. Come back to center and release the arms down. Nice. So we have extended up, we have flexed, we have extended, and we have laterally moved. Have we laterally moved? Let's laterally move. So to do that, we're going to take this left arm, let it kind of move down the left leg as we bring the right arm up overhead and take that lateral stretch in a standing posture. And if this is tough on your shoulders, if it causes any discomfort, you can always bring your hand to your head or bring your hand to your shoulder. We want the stretch to be sustainable. So you don't want to be forcing yourself, be straining any muscles to do this. So we are contracting the left side as we're stretching the right. But you don't want to go so far that you're holding your breath to hang out there and it causes discomfort. You want to find that sustainable posture. Come back up and we'll switch sides so this right arm can come down, left arm can come up, and we'll take a little lean. And as we lean to the right, the left hip can turn or move slightly in the opposite direction. That's fine if it does that. But see if you can root down through both feet. Really feel the strength in your legs. And then come all the way back up and bring that hand down. So we'll do 2 more postures before we come down to seated. We're going to do twists and flexion and extension from a warrior pose. So you can face your chair, step your right foot forward and your left foot back. So the intensity of this pose is kind of predicated on the distance of your feet. When you bend the front knee, you do not want the knee to go past the ankle. So you want the knee to be over that ankle or behind it. Just feel really rooted down, feel really solid on both feet. Turn the tailbone slightly down and the pubic bone slightly up, so you're leveling the pelvis. On an inhale, bring your arms up overhead. And on your exhale, bring your hands to your heart. On an inhale, we're going to keep the lower body relatively stable, lean slightly forward, lengthening, axial extension. And then we're going to take a twist to the right. So keep your hands at your heart and breathe. So we always want to be able to breathe in our postures. Keep the belly drawn in, legs are nice and strong. And on your inhale, come back to center. Sweep the arms up. And we're going to sweep the arms down and behind us, coming into extension, interlace the fingers, shoulders roll back, heart lifts. Lower body is really working hard here. Keep us balanced. Nice breath in. On your exhale, keep the lower body stable, reach the heart forward so we're coming into flexion. Nice extension at the same time, so the crown of the head is reaching forward. And the hips are squaring, so draw that right hip back a little bit. It likes to kind of creep forward in this posture, and then bring yourself all the way back up. Nice. And then we'll step the feet together, and we'll go to the other side. So the left foot will stay forward, right foot will come back. So find your stability here. So a nice neutral pelvis. Find that extension as you breathe in. Lengthen from the ribs up. Get nice and tall. Inhale the arms up overhead. And exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Keep the lower body stable, hips square to the chair. On an inhale, lengthen the body forward. Keep rooting down through the heel of that back foot. Don't lift it up. Exhale, come into a twist to the left. Always in that axial extension, always lengthening from tailbone to the crown of the head. Hands at the heart, because if we do this, we think that we're twisting, but we're not. We're just moving our shoulders. So we want to keep our hands at our heart and have the rib cage be what's moving here. Inhale back to center, come back to vertical. Bring the arms up overhead. This time come to cactus arms, and then press the elbows back, upper arms back. Open up the heart. Nice breath in and out. Extend the arms wide and then bring them down by your side. Let the palms face in. Take a breath in. Exhale, coming into that flexion. So the lower body stays stable. We're reaching the heart forward and reaching the fingers back, still lengthening the spine. Nice job. And then bring yourself all the way back up. Bring your hands to your heart. Bring your hands to the chair and step your feet together. Beautiful job. Great job. So we have done all of those movements in different ways. We've done them standing straight up, we've done them seated, and we've done them in a yoga pose, warrior pose. So you can do any or all of them every day, and you'll have so much more range of motion. So now you've earned a break. So it's time for Shavasana, that final relaxation. And you're probably feeling a little tired. And that's good, because that's what you want to feel when you move into this posture, because it's a resting posture. And in yoga, we work with our breath and our movement to get to this very place where we can rest the body and quiet the mind. So find a nice, comfortable seat. Let your legs extend. Let your back rest against the chair. Pillow behind the low back is always nice. Let the hands rest on the lap, up or down. And as always, you can get on the floor if you'd like to and just kind of lie on a mat or on a blanket, a towel. Create a little pillow for your cervical spine. Maybe cover up with a blanket. And come back to the breath. So as you just let the breath settle in and be silky, smooth, and rhythmical. Just begin to notice it. Don't change it. Just notice your body breathing on its own so beautifully. And then let the toes and the feet and the ankles relax. Let the body become heavy, sinking into whatever is supporting it. And so to come out of Shavasana, what you'll do is simply wiggle your toes and your fingers, maybe circle your wrists and your ankles. Take a nice full body stretch as you reach up, extend the legs long, really take a nice stretch. And then bring your hands to your heart. Gaze down at the fingers. And just celebrate this beautiful practice. Notice how things have shifted or changed. And when you're ready to go about your day, just go about it with a little sense of lightness and a lot more mobility. Until next time, namaste. Thanks so much for practicing with me today. If you know of someone who might benefit from this practice, I hope you'll share it with them by hitting the share button below. You can also hit the subscribe button to be notified when new videos are posted to this channel. A link to this video and other information about the benefits of practicing yoga can be found on my Facebook page, and the link is shown below as well. I encourage you to share your feedback. Please tell me what areas of the body I could focus on that would be helpful to you. I hope you'll join me next time. Until then, namaste.